All right, folks. This is a hard look at January. We're going to take a look at the ups and downs. We're going to see what we can see. All right. So I have sound. I'm good to go with audio. All right. So we're going to look at three things. We're going to look at the players, the events, and we're going to look at special things. So first off, all right. So first off, we're going to start with players. And okay, so with the players, we got DT. We have the killer. Elon. We have a copycat. We have a group. We have another group. All right, so these guys we know about. This is going to be old news. We know Donald Trump's going to do something stupid. We know the killer's going to do something stupid. And we know Elon's going to do Elon. That's a given. Let's call this Group A and Group B. Oh, Group C. Huh. So first off, let's start with copycat. So we know the copycat's gonna. We know they're gonna try to do something similar. We know they're gonna do, stupid things. I don't know if they're actually gonna kill anybody, but there's gonna be attempt at. So we'll have somebody actually gearing up to do that, and the FBI will probably swoop in, hopefully swoop in and at least slow it down. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure all the details on that one. I just know that male and female. There's going to be a lot of people. So it's going to be male and female. And there's going to be attempts. There's going to be tracking down and following and not carrying through. So every one or two that you see in the news, there's going to be 5 or 6 that don't follow through or aren't heard of. But we have several people. It's not just a male and a female. It's several. So there's going to be several attempts. These are the ones that are going to be known. They'll get a brief write up in the paper as saying there was an attempt. I'm not even sure what they're going to be attempting because it doesn't make sense. So so I can see that happening for a month or two. So there's going to be a general uproar, and I don't think it's just January. I think it's gonna really get bad in February. January is just gonna ramp up. So that's going to be interesting. Okay. Um, I don't know. I don't know how they track. I'm assuming all the posts that people put out on Facebook and Reddit and all that they track through there. So I'm going to assume that somebody's doing due diligence and they've got AI following people. Let's just say the feds are kind of on it. That's what the copycats. That's the people who are independently trying to do the same or similar as the killer. Not quite sure how that's going to work out. So let's look at group A, B, and C. So let's start with group A. I don't know if that's them. but that's the first word that comes to mind. Funny thing is so you got this loose knit group. Half are players, a quarter are controllers, an eighth are feds, and an eighth are others. So I don't think there's an actual organization. There's no head, there's no body. They're more like a hydra. The problem is who's controlling them. And the other problem is that and these guys are not the issue. I mean, yeah, they are the issue, but so I would like to know who is controlling them, and I would like to know why there's such a large makeup of government and others in this organization. On that note, what is this group planning on doing for January? Why January? I mean, why the riot? Why are they rioting? I mean, what's the reason for the riot? I don't know what that means. I don't know. Reclaim what? Reclaim. Yeah, the funny thing is, okay, so they're gonna have a riot and they're gonna act up in a particular area. So where are they gonna? What city? Because I can't imagine them doing it in a small city. So yeah, I don't know. There's gonna be a riot somewhere, and this group is gonna be part of it. And at some point, they're gonna try to breach a federal building. That's about all I know. Not quite sure what the riot's gonna be for. It really feels like they're protesting. They're protesting something. Um, Probably. It's in response to. It's in response to an action. But again, I don't know what the action was that it's in response to, so that makes no sense. All right, so we're gonna just kind of shove that to the side. There you go. That's group A. So that's, but then again, these guys are always somewhere breaking something. So that, unfortunately, is not much of a stretch. Um, so I guess what I could do is, since we know these guys are going to do something stupid, so let's just put riots in response to. Okay. Okay, so group 2. I've been watching way too much news. Holy event. And I want to just say riots and flashbangs. Deaths. Murders. Okay. There's going to be a holy event. There's something's going to happen where there's um, maybe like a religious opening. Let's go with religious opening. There's going to be a large group of people. So, large group of people. God, it almost feels like Rome. Let's just say it's the Catholics. No, I don't want to do that yet. So it's a large group of people, and something's going to happen. And there's going to be anger over is it branches? Opening. Let's do that right. All right, religious, some sort of religious opening. Okay, so we got we got riots, flashbangs, and we got so we have a large group of people, and then we have a smaller group. Young men. Oh, I've been watching way too much news. Okay, so it does feel like the Muslim versus uh, a Catholic group. Catholic, Oleg. But I'm not quite sure why they would be duking it out. But it's due to a holy event religious opening. So for January, Group 2, which is this smaller group pre-planned, will will have something to do with this event, and it's going to be a bad thing. And while it feels like the Muslim and Catholics, there's no guarantee. I mean, I don't know. I just know it's a large group of young men and a large group of people, ordinary citizens, and it just goes down from there. And while I can't see the catalyst for the upcoming, but the tension is high, and the men were primed, I guess, to go there and do this. So let's just let's just call it a religious opening uh, is attacked by a smaller group. So that's Group B, and I'm not even gonna stick with the Muslims and Catholics. We're just gonna say a smaller group attacks a larger group at a holy event or religious event. That's the easiest way to do that. But I'll tell you what, I don't know of many religious events in January. And see, that's the thing. I mean, isn't Chinese New Year like the 24th or something? I don't even know if that's a religion. But this doesn't have to be. Okay, so Group B is a smaller group attacking a larger group at a religious event in January. And I don't know. I'm thinking later on in the year, probably toward the end of the year. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel like it's in the U.S. It doesn't feel like it's definitely not in Rome. Well, it could be in Rome, but I mean, it doesn't feel like it's in Rome. I really can't place where it's at. It's older. It's a much older area. All right, so that's Group B. Okay. Group C. This is the group I like. So there's a group. There's a group out there. And it almost feels government. It almost feels government. This is in the US, by the way. That in January is actively they're hiding and suppressing data. I mean, reams of data. They're data dumping. So something bad happens. Data was brought up on it, and this group C is now doing anything it can to hide the data. And again, I watch way too much news. Um, it does feel like a government run up, but I don't know which government. And I don't know if they're trying to hide it from our government or if our government's trying to hide it from us. So, a government is hiding and suppressing data and data dumps. So, what we're going to find out is this particular group is destroying data as fast as they can. And we're going to find out who and why. So, in January, and it's going to be a small little news article because the news sources suck. So, it's a small news article in Nowhere News. Okay, so they're going to break it. This this small Nowhere newspaper is going to break the fact that um, somebody is actively trying to hide something. And in January, it's going to come out that this large group is actively suppressing data from the general public, from the government. And it's being run by uh, quasi-military kind of operation. So whoever is in charge is, I don't know if it's one of the alphanumeric guys or if it's somebody else, but somebody's burning data. And somebody else noticed. So they should be printing that. And I have no clue how it's going to go from a small newspaper to a big newspaper. So that's on you guys. You guys got to keep an eye out for that. But who and why? The question is what's the data? What's the data? Who are the people involved in the data? And why are they trying to hide it? And why is this small news article going to break it? It's literally gonna skyrocket from a single point source. All right, that's the three top players in my thing. So I I I don't know how accurate that is. Oh, but that's a good start. So a riot in response to something's going to happen, and the A group is going to jump out there. This is at a religious event somewhere. A smaller group attacking a larger group, and Group C is a clandestine group that's suppressing data for unknown reasons. And I'm sure they got a good reason. And I'm sure somebody, you know, somebody needed to suppress the data because don't you know the data was bad. So, Group C, that would be suppressing data. Okay, nice. So these are the three things in January. The three players, aside from the big name players. Now we're looking at events. And I don't know what's going on, and I don't know how to quantify what's going on. Well, one of the things I'm having problems with is this. Yeah, there's war going on, but if I keep seeing this once or twice, that's no big deal. That's because I watch way too much news. But I'm seeing it more than once or twice. So, no, I'm not picking up where this is or what it is, but I do notice that it's the top of the buildings. It's not the structure. And I can't tell if this is a natural. I can't tell if it's a natural event or man-made. So when I draw the picture and I put my hand out here, I mean it's overwhelming pain. So wherever this is royally screwed up, and it's not just a couple buildings. It's widespread damage. And the other problem I have is when. So, I mean, we know that's going to happen. We know there's going to be a lot of things leading up to multiple cities getting devastated. Um, Again, the lack of faith in the government to do the right thing, and all the rest of this yuha. Um, that being said, is I don't know if it's a natural event. I mean, is this an earthquake? Is this a fire? I mean, San Francisco burnt down because of a horse kicking over a lantern. But then again, that was back in the bygone days. So, I mean, is this China? You know, because I'm getting seismic, I'm getting fire, I'm getting vibration, explosion, I'm getting fireballs, aerial. Um, but it still feels almost like a natural event. That's what I said. I've been having a hard time with this one because I can't tell. One, I can't tell where, and I can't tell which avenue. I can't tell which avenue it's coming from. So if it's man-made, it's war, and we got a list of cities that are targeted by individual players. It's not a big issue. I mean, the ballistic missile does lots of damage. A couple small nuclear warheads, even more. Um, but if it's a nuclear warhead, you would think I'd be able to tell. I'd be able to tell the radiation, and I don't feel radiation. If it's a meteor, which or even a big rock that doesn't even have to hit the Earth, it just has to explode over the Earth, and that's kind of what it feels like. It's because I mean, look, the tops, not not the bases. The tops are damaged, so it almost feels like a. It almost feels like a really big rock entering the Earth's atmosphere and blowing up. So if it's a natural, then it's something in the atmosphere. So atmospheric, atmos, spheric. If it's natural, okay. If it's man-made, then we all know it's war. See, my other thought would be, because of the seismic portion, that my other thought would be maybe it's LA shaking because the ground shakes. There's vibrations, there's ringing through the ground. But again, if you have something that causes an atmospheric explosion, of course you're going to get ringing, and you're going to have earthquakes and devastation. And you would have localized damage on top. So we're going to go with an unknown, and the time I can't specify. I just know this just keeps coming back. I'm going to assume it's the January, February. Oh, but that's the best I can do with this. I really wish it wouldn't keep coming back because it really is frustrating. Especially since I'm not, other than this, the overwhelming pain, I'm not getting much from it. So, that's event number 1. And that's probably January, February. Okay. Event number 2. A rhino. Something about a rhino. Wonder if there's a rhino being born. Albino. All right. Well, that's happy news. A white rhino. That's about as random as I can get. Wow, that'll be cool. Wonder if it's a rhino or an elephant. I'm gonna stick with rhino. We're gonna see what happens. Okay, that's event number 2. Yeah, nice. Event number 3. Pop star dies. Famous pop star. Young. God, under 30. I want to say female. I'm not. Maybe they're just feminine. I can't tell. Feminine. trying to see if it's suicide or other. This kind of feels like other and suicide. Something to do with stalking. While it feels like it was suicide, I don't know if it was intentional. So, so there you go. 3 separate events: large explosion, white rhino, and a pop star dies. Nice. I think this is going to conclude my first look into January 5th. Or I'm sorry, January. And I will keep looking into that city and do what I can to do a little bit more detail. But you all stay safe out there. Always look up. Yeah, no, that's not going to do anything. So, but thank you for watching. This is January's events, and it looks like it's going to be a rip snorting year. So, good luck to you guys. And I'll have part 2 out, yeah, sooner or later. All right, catch y'all later.